The abduction. Sarah Chen yawned and stretched, her eyes bleary as she stared at the computer screen. The clock on her desk blinked 2:37 a.m., but she'd barely registered it. For the past 72 hours, she'd been lost in a world of equations and simulations, chasing an elusive breakthrough in fusion energy. As one of Earth's leading experts in experimental physics, Sarah was used to long nights and endless cups of coffee. But this project felt different, more urgent, more important. She stood up, wincing as her stiff muscles protested, and walked to the small window of her lab. Outside, the sprawling research facility was dark and quiet. In the distance, she could see the faint glow of the nearby city. Sarah pressed her forehead against the cool glass, letting out a deep sigh. How many nights had she spent like this, chasing scientific dreams, while the rest of the world slept? A sudden flash of light in the sky caught her attention. Sarah blinked, wondering if her exhausted mind was playing tricks on her. But no, there it was again, a pulsing, iridescent glow that seemed to grow larger by the second. Her scientific curiosity piqued. Sarah leaned closer to the window, trying to make sense of the phenomenon. The light grew brighter, filling her vision. Sarah felt a strange tingling sensation wash over her body. She tried to step back to call out, but found herself frozen in place. The world around her began to blur and fade, replaced by a swirling vortex of color and light. When Sarah's vision finally cleared, she found herself in a vast, gleaming chamber unlike anything she'd ever seen. The walls seemed to pulse with an inner light, covered in intricate patterns that shifted and changed as she watched. Strange, sleek devices hummed softly all around her, but it was the figure standing before her that truly took her breath away. The alien, for Sarah was certain this being could be nothing else, towered over her, easily 8 feet tall. Its skin was a deep, shimmering purple, adorned with swirling bioluminescent patterns. Multiple arms, long and graceful, emerged from a torso that tapered to a serpentine lower body. But it was the alien's face that captivated Sarah, cat-like eyes of swirling gold and silver, set in features that were at once familiar and utterly foreign. "Welcome, Sarah Chen of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious purr that seemed to resonate in Sarah's very bones. "I am Empress Zava of the Galactic Hegemony. We have been watching you for some time." Sarah's mind reeled, 1,000 questions fighting for dominance. But her scientific training kicked in, steadying her. She straightened her back, meeting the alien Empress's gaze. "Why have you brought me here?" she asked, proud of how steady her voice sounded. Zora's lips curved in what might have been a smile. "Direct. Good. We have no time for pleasantries." She gestured with one graceful arm, and a holographic display sprang to life between them. Sarah gasped as she recognized the equations flickering across the screen, her own work on fusion energy. "Your species stands on the brink of a great discovery," Zara continued, "but you lack the resources to complete it. We, however, have the means to bring your theories to fruition. In return, we ask for your help with a crisis that threatens our entire civilization." Sarah's scientific curiosity warred with her suspicion. "And if I refuse?" The Empress's expression hardened. "Then you will be returned to Earth, your memory wiped. And when your planet burns in the coming galactic war, you'll have no one to blame but yourself." The weight of the decision pressed down on Sarah. Everything she'd ever known, ever loved, hung in the balance. But the scientist in her, the part that had always yearned to push the boundaries of knowledge, whispered of the incredible opportunity before her. "Show me," Sarah said finally. "Show me everything." What followed was a whirlwind tour that left Sarah's head spinning. Zara led her through vast laboratories filled with technology beyond her wildest dreams. Antimatter reactors hummed softly, powering city-sized ships that hung in the void of space. Artificial intelligences more advanced than anything on Earth worked tirelessly on problems that would take human scientists lifetimes to solve. But beneath the technological marvels, Sarah sensed an undercurrent of tension. The alien scientists they encountered looked haggard, their movements frantic. More than once, she caught whispered conversations that fell silent as she approached. "Your civilization is dying," Sarah realized aloud as they stood on an observation deck, looking out at a sea of stars. "All this power, and you're running out of energy." Zora's expression was grim. "Yes, our empire spans galaxies, but we have grown too quickly, consumed too greedily. The very fabric of space-time threatens to unravel under the strain of our technology. Your work on fusion, it offers a glimmer of hope, a way to harness energy more efficiently than we ever dreamed possible." Sarah's mind raced, connecting dots and extrapolating possibilities. "But it's not complete. Even with your resources, it could take years to perfect." "We don't have years," Zava said softly. "We have months at best. Already, entire systems are going dark as our power grid fails. If we cannot find a solution..." She trailed off, but Sarah could imagine the consequences. Billions of lives, entire civilizations, wiped out in an instant. The weight of responsibility settled on Sarah's shoulders. She thought of Earth, of her family and friends, blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding around them. Could she really turn her back on them? But if she refused to help, wouldn't she be dooming them anyway? "I'll do it," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll help you, but I have conditions." Zora's eyes narrowed. "You are hardly in a position to make demands, human." Sarah met the Empress's gaze unflinchingly. "Maybe not, but you need me. So hear me out. First, I want full access to all your scientific data and resources. No holding back. Second, I want regular updates on Earth. If anything threatens my home planet, our deal is off. And third," she hesitated, then plunged ahead, "I want to learn everything you can teach me about your technology, your culture, your history. If I'm going to help save your civilization, I want to understand it." For a long moment, Zava was silent. Then, to Sarah's surprise, the alien Empress laughed, a sound like crystal chimes in the wind. "Oh, I chose well with you, Sarah Chen. Very well. Your terms are accepted. But know this, failure is not an option. The fate of galaxies now rests in your hands." As Sarah was led to her new quarters, her mind buzzed with equal parts excitement and terror. She had dreamed of pushing the boundaries of science, of making discoveries that would change the world. But this was beyond anything she could have imagined. The secrets of the universe lay before her, waiting to be unlocked. But as she caught sight of her reflection in a polished wall, small, human, so very far from home, Sarah couldn't help but wonder. Had she made a terrible mistake? The days that followed were a blur of activity. Sarah threw herself into her work with a fervor that impressed even the alien scientists. She pored over data, ran countless simulations, and pushed herself to the limits of her understanding. The technology at her disposal was incredible, allowing her to test theories and concepts that would have taken years on Earth. But it wasn't just the science that fascinated Sarah. True to her word, Zala had granted her access to vast libraries of alien knowledge. In her rare moments of downtime, Sarah immersed herself in the history and culture of the galactic hegemony. She learned of ancient wars and cosmic wonders, of philosophies that stretched across millennia and art forms that defied human comprehension. And always, there was Zava. The alien Empress was a constant presence, watching Sarah's progress with those unsettling golden eyes. At first, their interactions were purely professional, progress reports and technical discussions. But as the days turned to weeks, Sarah found herself drawn to the enigmatic ruler. Zara was unlike anyone, or anything, Sarah had ever encountered. Brilliant and ruthless, capable of both astonishing kindness and terrifying cruelty. She spoke of sacrificing entire worlds to save the greater empire with the same casualness that she discussed art and music. Sarah found herself both repelled and fascinated. One night, after a particularly grueling day of failed experiments, Sarah found Zara waiting in her quarters. The Empress moved with fluid grace, pouring 2 glasses of a shimmering, opalescent liquid. "You've made impressive progress," Zara said, handing Sarah a glass. "But you push yourself too hard. Even the most brilliant mind needs rest." Sarah accepted the drink cautiously, sniffing it before taking a small sip. The taste was indescribable, like starlight and summer rain and 1,000 other impossible things. "There's no time for rest," she said. "Your people are dying. Entire worlds are at stake." Zora's expression softened, showing a vulnerability Sarah had never seen before. "And what of you, Sarah Chen? Do you not count yourself among those at stake?" The question caught Sarah off guard. She had been so focused on the enormous task before her, on the fate of galaxies, that she had barely spared a thought for her own well-being. I don't know," she admitted. "Sometimes it feels like I left myself behind on Earth, like I'm just a brain in a jar, working on this impossible problem." Zara moved closer, her alien features inches from Sarah's face. "You are so much more than that," the Empress murmured. One graceful hand reached out, brushing a strand of hair from Sarah's forehead. "You are the key to our salvation, and perhaps something more." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The air between them seemed to crackle with electricity. For a wild moment, she thought Zara might kiss her. Instead, the Empress pulled back, her expression once again unreadable. "Rest," Zara commanded. "Tomorrow, we begin the final phase of testing. The fate of the universe hangs in the balance." As the door closed behind the Empress, Sarah sank onto her bed, her mind whirling. What had just happened? And more importantly, what would tomorrow bring? Little did Sarah know, forces were already in motion that would test not just her scientific brilliance, but her very humanity. The true challenge was only just beginning. The quantum gambit. The laboratory hummed with an electric tension as Sarah Chen stood before a gathering of the galaxy's most brilliant minds. Alien scientists of various species filled the vast amphitheater, their eyes or sensory organs fixed upon the human who had become their unlikely savior. At the center of it all loomed Empress Zara, her iridescent scales shimmering with anticipation. "Esteemed colleagues," Sarah began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "For millennia, our civilizations have grappled with the fundamental nature of energy. Today, we stand on the precipice of a revolution that will redefine the very fabric of the cosmos." With a gesture, she activated a holographic display that filled the air around them. Complex equations and swirling models of subatomic particles danced before their eyes. "Behold," Sarah continued, "the quantum flux capacitor." A gasp rippled through the audience. Even Zara leaned forward, her golden eyes widening. By harnessing the inherent instability of quantum foam, Sarah explained, her words gaining momentum, "we can tap into the limitless energy of the multiverse itself. No more harvesting stars or strip mining planets. With this technology, we can power entire galaxies without depleting a single natural resource." The hologram shifted, showing a device no larger than Sarah's palm. Within it, a swirling vortex of energy pulsed and throbbed. "But the implications go far beyond mere energy production," Sarah said, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "With sufficient refinement, this technology could allow us to manipulate the very laws of physics. Faster than light travel, temporal manipulation, even the creation of pocket universes, all become possible." The amphitheater erupted into chaos. Alien scientists shouted questions, arguments, and exclamations of disbelief. Through it all, Sarah stood firm, fielding inquiries with the confidence of one who had glimpsed the secrets of creation itself. As the furor died down, Empress Zara rose to her full, imposing height. "You have given us hope, Sarah Chen," she declared, her melodious voice carrying to every corner of the room. "But hope is a fragile thing. How soon can we implement this miracle?" Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. "With the resources of the hegemony at my disposal, I believe we can have a working prototype within 3 standard months." A murmur of excitement rippled through the crowd. But Zara's expression remained grave. 3 months, she mused. It may already be too late. Before Zara could respond, alarms blared throughout the complex. The holographic display flickered and changed, showing a vast armada of sleek, predatory ships emerging from hyperspace. "Your Majesty," a frantic voice called out. "It's the Void Collective. They've launched a full-scale invasion." Zara's blood ran cold. The Void Collective, a mysterious faction of energy vampires that had long preyed on the fringes of the hegemony. If they were bold enough to attack the heart of Zara's empire, the situation was even more dire than she had realized. Zara's face hardened into a mask of regal determination. "Mobilize the fleet," she commanded. "Initiate emergency protocols." Her gaze fell upon Zara. "It seems, my dear human, that your deadline has been moved up. We need that prototype operational immediately." Zara's mind raced. "But that's impossible. Even with all our resources, the calculations alone would take weeks." A sleek smile played across Zara's lips. "Perhaps it's time we introduced you to our most closely guarded secret." She gestured for Zara to follow her, leading the way through a series of heavily guarded corridors. They emerged into a cavernous chamber dominated by a massive, pulsing crystal. Within its facets, Zara could see glimpses of other realities, worlds where history had taken different paths, where the laws of physics bent in impossible ways. "The heart of infinity," Zara explained, her voice hushed with reverence. "A fragment of the primordial universe, capable of tapping into the collective knowledge of every possible timeline. With its power, you can compress years of research into mere hours." Zara approached the crystal, drawn by an irresistible pull. As her fingers brushed its surface, a jolt of energy surged through her. Suddenly, her mind was awash with information, formulas, theories, and revelations beyond her wildest dreams. I understand," she gasped, overwhelmed by the influx of knowledge. "I know how to build it." Zara's smile was triumphant. "Then let us begin, Zara Chen. The fate of galaxies hangs in the balance." What followed was a whirlwind of activity. Zara worked tirelessly, her mind operating on a level she had never thought possible. Alien engineers scrambled to keep up with her demands, assembling components within human speed and precision. As the days blurred together, Zara became aware of a growing tension within herself. The knowledge gifted by the heart of infinity was intoxicating, opening up possibilities she had never dreamed of. But with it came a creeping sense of detachment, as if her humanity was being stripped away bit by bit. One night, as she took a rare moment of rest, Zara found herself drawn to a viewing port. Outside, the battle raged. Fleets of ships engaged in a deadly dance among the stars. The sight filled her with a mixture of awe and horror. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Zara's voice came from behind her. The Empress moved to stand beside Zara, her alien features bathed in the glow of distant explosions. "Beautiful," Zara echoed, her voice hollow. "Millions are dying out there." Zara's hand came to rest on Zara's shoulder, the touch sending shivers down her spine. "Such is the nature of the cosmos, my dear. Creation and destruction, locked in an eternal cycle. But with your brilliance, we can tip the scales. We can become gods." Zara turned to face the Empress, struck by the fervor in those alien eyes. "Is that what this is really about? Not saving your people, but ascending to godhood?" A low chuckle rumbled from Zara's throat. "Oh, Zara, still so naive, even with all that knowledge burning in your mind. Don't you see? They are one and the same. To save our civilization, we must evolve beyond it." As if to punctuate her words, a blinding flash lit up the viewport. An entire star system wiped from existence in an instant. "The Void Collective grows stronger by the hour," Zara continued. "They consume entire galaxies, reducing them to lifeless husks. Only by transcending our current limitations can we hope to stop them." Zara's mind reeled. The implications of what Zara was suggesting were staggering. With the power of the quantum flux capacitor, they could reshape reality itself. But at what cost? I need to think, Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. I need to be alone. Zara's expression softened. Of course, my dear. But remember, time is a luxury we can ill afford. As the Empress glided away, Sarah turned back to the viewport. The battle continued to rage, a cosmic tableau of destruction and rebirth. And at the center of it all stood Sarah Chen, no longer just a brilliant scientist from Earth, but the linchpin upon which the fate of entire universes now turned. In that moment, Sarah made a decision. She would complete the quantum flux capacitor, but she would do so on her own terms. The power to reshape reality was too great to entrust to any one being, even an empress of galaxies. With renewed determination, Sarah strode back to her laboratory. The final pieces of the cosmic puzzle were falling into place. Soon, she would hold the power of creation in the palm of her hand. And then the real work would begin, the cosmic crucible. The air crackled with otherworldly energy as Sarah Chen stood before her creation. The quantum flux capacitor pulsed with an inner light, its intricate crystalline structure defying the laws of known physics. Around her, alien scientists watched with bated breath, their myriad eyes fixed on the device that promised salvation or damnation. Initiating final sequence, Sarah announced, her voice steady despite the maelstrom of emotions swirling within her. With trembling fingers, she inputted the last command. The laboratory erupted in a dazzling display of light and sound. Reality itself seemed to bend and warp around the quantum flux capacitor. For a heart-stopping moment, Sarah feared she had miscalculated, that her hubris would tear apart the fabric of space-time. But then, miraculously, everything stabilized. The device hummed with barely contained power, a miniature universe dancing within its crystalline confines. By the cosmic wellspring, an alien scientist breathed, their voice filled with awe. She's done it. The human has harnessed the power of creation itself. Before Sarah could respond, the doors to the laboratory burst open. Empress Zala strode in, her iridescent scales shimmering with an almost manic intensity. Is it operational? The Empress demanded, her golden eyes fixed on the pulsing device. Sarah nodded, a mixture of pride and trepidation washing over her. It works, Your Majesty. We now have access to unlimited energy, drawn directly from the quantum foam of reality. A triumphant smile spread across Zora's alien features. Excellent. Prepare it for immediate transport to the front lines. We'll use its power to crush the Void Collective once and for all. Sarah's blood ran cold. Wait, she protested. We can't just rush this into battle. The implications of this technology are staggering. We need time to study it, to understand the full ramifications. Time. Zara's voice cracked like a whip. While we debate ethics, entire star systems are being devoured. No, Sarah Chen, the time for caution has passed. With a gesture, Zara summoned a contingent of guards. Secure the device, she commanded, and escort our esteemed human to her quarters. Her role in this is finished. Panic surged through Sarah. She couldn't let this happen, couldn't allow such power to be wielded without restraint. In a desperate move, she longed for the quantum flux capacitor. What happened next would be debated by scholars for millennia to come. As Sarah's fingers brushed the surface of the device, a surge of energy coursed through her. The world around her shattered into a kaleidoscope of realities. She saw countless versions of herself, of Zala, of the entire universe, playing out in infinite variations. And then, just as suddenly, everything snapped back into focus. But something had changed. Sarah could feel it in every fiber of her being. The knowledge imparted by the heart of infinity paled in comparison to the cosmic awareness that now flooded her consciousness. No, Sarah said, her voice resonating with newfound power. This ends now. With a thought, she erected an impenetrable barrier around herself and the quantum flux capacitor. Zara's guards found themselves frozen in place, unable to move or speak. The Empress's eyes widened in shock and fury. "What have you done?" she hissed. "What I should have done from the beginning," Sarah replied. "I'm taking control." With another burst of will, Sarah tapped into the device's power. The laboratory dissolved around them, replaced by the swirling chaos of deep space. They now stood, or floated, at the heart of the raging battle between the hegemony and the Void Collective. Massive ships exchanged fire all around them, their weapons capable of shattering planets. But here, in this bubble of altered reality, Sarah and Zala were untouchable. "Look at them," Sarah said, gesturing to the cosmic conflict. "Countless lives snuffed out in an instant. And for what? Your quest for godhood. The Void Collective's insatiable hunger." Zora's expression was a mix of awe and defiance. "You don't understand. This is the way of the universe. The strong survive, evolve, ascend. It is our destiny too." "No," Sarah cut her off. "That's where you're wrong. I've seen it, Zara. I've seen every possible permutation of this conflict, every potential future. And I can tell you with certainty, this path leads only to oblivion." With a wave of her hand, Sarah conjured a vision of the future, a universe of dead stars and empty galaxies consumed by an ever-expanding void. "This is where your war ends," she said softly. "Not with godhood, but with the heat death of all creation." For the first time since Sarah had known her, Zara looked truly shaken. "Then, what hope is there?" the Empress asked, her voice small against the backdrop of cosmic destruction. Sarah's expression softened. "Hope lies in cooperation, not conflict. In understanding, not domination." She extended her hand to Zara. "Join me. Together, we can reshape this reality. We can create a future where all beings, from the smallest microbe to the grandest celestial empire, can thrive." Zara hesitated, centuries of ingrained beliefs warring with the undeniable truth before her. Finally, slowly, she reached out and took Sarah's hand. The moment their fingers touched, a shockwave of energy rippled out across the cosmos. The battling fleets froze in place as wave after wave of scintillating light washed over them. When it cleared, the universe had changed. The Void Collective's ships had been transformed, their energy-draining weapons replaced with devices capable of reinvigorating dying stars. The hegemony's war fleets now carried seeds of life, ready to terraform barren worlds. And at the center of it all stood Sarah and Zara, their forms shimmering with newfound power and purpose. "What have you done?" Zara breathed, watching as former enemies embraced across the battlefield. Sarah smiled, feeling the pulse of this reborn universe coursing through her. "I gave them a choice, the same choice I'm offering you, offering all sentient beings across creation. A chance to be part of something greater than themselves, to nurture rather than destroy, to create rather than consume." Zara looked out at the transformed fleets, then back at Sarah. Slowly, a smile spread across her alien features. "I underestimated you, Sarah Chen of Earth. It seems humans are capable of far more than we ever imagined." "We all are," Sarah replied. "We just needed the right perspective." As they stood there, witnessing the birth of a new cosmic order, Sarah felt a profound sense of peace wash over her. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges. Reshaping the fundamental nature of reality was no small task after all. But for the first time since she'd been abducted from her quiet lab on Earth, Sarah Chen felt truly at home. Here, among the stars, she had found her true calling. Not as a conqueror or a god, but as a guardian of life itself. The quantum flux capacitor pulsed gently in her hands, a reminder of the incredible power now at her disposal. But it was no longer a weapon or a tool for domination. Instead, it had become a symbol of hope, a beacon of infinite possibility in a universe reborn. As Sarah and Zara set out to explore this transformed cosmos, hand in hand, the stars themselves seemed to sing with joy. A new age had dawned, one of cooperation and mutual growth, and at its heart stood an unlikely pair, an alien empress and a human scientist, united in their quest to nurture the vast tapestry of existence. The story of Sarah Chen, once a simple Earth engineer, now resonated across galaxies. She had become a legend, a cosmic folk hero who had dared to challenge the very nature of reality itself. And in doing so, she had not only saved countless lives, but had given the entire universe a second chance at life. As news of the transformation spread, beings across the cosmos looked to the stars with renewed wonder and hope. For in the tale of Sarah Chen, they saw the potential within themselves, the power to shape their own destinies and to be part of something truly miraculous. And so, the great cosmic dance continued, with Sarah and Zala as its unlikely conductors. The universe pulsed with new life, new possibilities, and the promise of adventures yet to come. The multiversal nexus. As Sarah Chen and Empress Zala journey through the transformed cosmos, they discovered that their work had only just begun. The reverberations of their actions echoed across dimensions, causing ripples in the very fabric of the multiverse. One fateful day, as they were seeding life on a barren world at the edge of the known universe, a shimmering portal tore open the sky above them. Through it stepped a figure that defied description, a being of pure energy, shifting and pulsing with every color imaginable. "Greetings, shapers of destiny," the entity's voice resonated in their minds. "I am Semphilex, keeper of the multiversal nexus. Your actions have not gone unnoticed." Sarah and Zara exchanged glances, their hands instinctively intertwining. "We meant no harm," Sarah began, but Semphilex raised a tendril, silencing her. "Harm? You misunderstand. Your reshaping of this universe has created a cascade of positive change across countless realities. The Cosmic Council requests your presence." Before they could respond, the world around them dissolved into a kaleidoscope of light and sound. When their vision cleared, Sarah and Zara found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. The multiversal nexus was a swirling maelstrom of realities, each one a bubble containing entire universes. Surrounding them were beings of such diverse and alien nature that Sarah's enhanced mind struggled to comprehend them all. "Welcome," boomed a chorus of voices, speaking as one. "We are the Cosmic Council, overseers of the grand tapestry of existence." Sarah felt Zara's grip tighten on her hand. Even the once mighty Empress seemed humbled in the presence of such cosmic entities. "Your actions in your home universe have created a unique opportunity," the Council continued. "A chance to heal rifts between realities that have long been at war. We offer you a choice: return to your realm and continue your work there, or join us as multiversal ambassadors, spreading harmony across all of creation." The magnitude of the offer was staggering. Sarah's mind raced with the possibilities, the challenges, the sheer scope of what they were being asked to do. "But our people," Zara spoke up, her voice uncharacteristically hesitant. "Our universe. We can't simply abandon them." A ripple of what might have been amusement passed through the assembled cosmic entities. "Time has little meaning here," they explained. "You could spend eons working across realities and return to your own universe mere moments after you left." Sarah turned to Zara, searching the alien Empress's golden eyes. "What do you think?" she asked softly. "Are we ready for this?" Zara was quiet for a long moment, her iridescent scales shifting with emotion. Finally, she squared her shoulders, a hint of her old regal bearing returning. "My dear Sarah," she said with a smile, "I believe we were born ready." With newfound determination, they faced the Cosmic Council. "We accept," Sarah declared, her voice ringing out across the nexus. What followed was an adventure beyond anything they could have imagined. Armed with the power of the quantum flux capacitor and the blessings of the Cosmic Council, Sarah and Zara traversed the multiverse. They mediated conflicts between warring realities, introduced the concept of symbiotic growth to universes on the brink of collapse, and seeded life in barren cosmoses. With each mission, their bond grew stronger, their understanding of the cosmic tapestry deeper. In one reality, they encountered a version of Earth where technology had evolved along biological lines. Sarah marveled at living computers and sentient cities, her scientific mind ablaze with new possibilities. In another, they found a universe where thought itself was the primary form of energy. Zara, drawing on her experiences as an empress, helped negotiate peace between warring factions of idea beings. But it wasn't all grandiose cosmic manipulation. In quiet moments between missions, Sarah and Zara found time to explore their evolving relationship. The barriers between human and alien seemed to melt away as they shared hopes, fears, and dreams under the light of a billion unfamiliar stars. One night, for such concepts held little meaning in the space between realities, as they rested on a planet of living crystal, Zara turned to Sarah with an uncharacteristically vulnerable expression. "Sarah," she began, her voice soft, "I've been thinking about what you said back when we first used the quantum flux capacitor, about cooperation and understanding being the key to the universe's survival." Sarah nodded, encouraging her to continue. "I realize now that it applies to us as well. You've taught me so much about compassion, about seeing the value in all forms of life." Zara's hand caressed Sarah's cheek. I think what I'm trying to say is, I love you." The words hung in the air between them, charged with cosmic significance. Sarah felt her heart swell with emotion. "Oh, Zara," she whispered, "I love you too. Across every universe, every reality, it's always been you." As their lips met in a kiss that seemed to make the very stars sing, a new wave of energy pulsed out from them. Across the multiverse, beings of every shape and size felt a sudden surge of warmth, of hope, of love. The Cosmic Council, watching from their eternal vigil, nodded in satisfaction. The union of Sarah Chen and Empress Zala was more than just a romance. It was a symbol of the harmony they sought to bring to all of creation. But even as Sarah and Zala basked in their newfound love, a shadow loomed on the cosmic horizon. For in the darkest corners of the multiverse, ancient forces stirred, entities that saw the couple's work as a threat to the very nature of existence. The true test of their love, their power, and their vision for a unified cosmos was yet to come. But for now, in this moment between heartbeats of eternity, all was right in the multiverse. A murmur rippled through the assembly. It was audacious, borderline insane, and possibly their only hope. What followed was a montage of cosmic proportions. Sarah and Zara, backed by the full might of the Cosmic Council, raced across realities. They gathered rare elements from dying stars, harnessed the power of collapsing black holes, and wove intricate patterns of quantum entanglement that spanned entire galactic superclusters. All the while, Null dogged their steps. Universes fell like dominoes in its wake, the encroaching darkness a constant reminder of what failure would mean. Finally, after what felt like eons compressed into moments, they were ready. At the very heart of the multiversal nexus, Sarah and Zara stood before a device that dwarfed suns, an amplified quantum flux capacitor of impossible proportions. "Are you sure about this?" Zara asked, her voice tight with tension. "If we fail..." Sarah squeezed her hand. "Then we fail together, having given everything to save creation." She managed a smile. "Besides, quantum uncertainty is on our side. There's always a chance, however small, that this will work." As if summoned by their determination, Null materialized before them. "Ah, the last futile stand of life against the inevitable. How poetic." "You're right about one thing," Sarah replied, her finger hovering over the activation switch. "This is inevitable, but not in the way you think." She threw the switch. Reality itself screamed. The amplified quantum flux capacitor rolled to life, drawing in the very essence of entropy. Null howled, its form distorting as it was pulled inexorably towards the device. What have you done?" the entity shrieked. Sarah's voice was calm, even as the fabric of the multiverse rippled around them. "We're not destroying entropy. We're transforming it, giving it new purpose." The device pulsed, waves of redefined reality washing out across creation. Where before entropy had meant decay and dissolution, Now it became a force of renewal and rebirth. Nor's form twisted, stretched, and finally burst in a nova of reimagined possibility. From its remnants, a new entity coalesced, one of swirling colors and vibrant potential. I am, Novus, the being declared, its voice a symphony of creation. The force of renewal, of endless possibility. As Novus spread its influence across the multiverse, Sarah and Zala watched in awe. Dead universes sparked back to life. Fallen civilizations rose from the cosmic ashes, reborn with the wisdom of their past failures. The Cosmic Council, those eternal guardians, bowed before the human and the alien who had reshaped the very foundations of reality. You have done the impossible, Zenfulex proclaimed. You have given the multiverse itself a second chance. Sarah and Zala, exhausted but triumphant, simply held each other close. They had faced the end of everything and emerged victorious, their love a testament to the enduring power of life and hope. As they looked out at the reborn multiverse, teeming with newfound vitality and endless potential, Sarah couldn't help but smile. So, she said, turning to Zala with a twinkle in her eye, what impossible task should we tackle next? Zara laughed, the sound rippling across realities like a joyous melody. My dear Sarah, with you by my side, I believe a real question is, what isn't possible? Hand in hand, the unlikely pair set off into a cosmos reborn, ready to write the next chapter in their eternal cosmic romance. Guardians of a multiverse where even entropy itself had learned the power of love and renewal. The legend of Sarah Chen and Empress Zala would echo across time and space, a beacon of hope for all sentient beings. For they had proven that even in the darkest hour, when all seemed lost, the indomitable spirit of life and love would always find a way to shine.